What's going on, folks? Welcome to the latest edition of Nintendo Enthusiast Week in Review. It is I, Sean Long, and Splatoon. So yeah, without any further ado, let's jump into this past week's news. So Nintendo held a Splatoon Direct this weekend. It was pretty interesting. We learned that the game is going to be getting content all throughout the summer for free. There's going to be new maps, new modes, and more importantly, you're going to be able to play with your friends, link up with them, and do custom game types. So that's very interesting because you can look at it one of two ways. Was this the plan all along, or was this based on fan feedback that was kind of upset you couldn't link up with your friends? Last week's question of the week was which were you looking more forward to, Yooka-Laylee or Mighty No. 9, and you guys pretty much picked Yooka-Laylee for the most part. This week's question of the week is whether Splatoon was always intended to have this content or if it was based on fan feedback. Be sure to comment below and let me know your answer. So we all know Xenoblade Chronicles X just released in Japan last week, but how did it do sales-wise? It did pretty decent. More importantly, the Wii U went from about 7,000 sold the previous week to 23,000 sold in Japan. Which, that's pretty impressive. That's a big jump. That's, a ×3 jump. Xenoblade itself sold about 90,000 copies, which is pretty decent for Japan, and the top 5 selling overall games were all on Nintendo platforms, so Nintendo's really doing well in Japan. Hopefully that success translates over to more success for Xenoblade in the States.
This week's Retro Game of the Week is brought to you by PunchOutGaming.com. From retro gaming to modern, PunchOutGaming.com has you covered. Join their Facebook group for the best sales as well. Link in description.
This week's Retro Game of the Week is actually a wrestling game. Now I know you're thinking of all the common ones, but I'm going to pull one that was a little bit underlooked, but it was still pretty decent. WCW Mayhem. The roster was pretty good, the gameplay was a bit different because EA was developing the game, but a lot of people crap on this game and I don't really know why. It's actually pretty solid. You can pick it up for dirt cheap, and if you like wrestling from that era, I highly suggest you pick up this game. Also, on a side note, I just debuted a retro gaming channel on YouTube, sort of like a personal thing I'm doing. I'll put a link to it down below. Check it out. I put up my first episode yesterday, and let me know what you guys think of it. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoy it as well. 10.5 million. That's a lot of anything. If you got $10.5 million, 10.5 million games, that's an awesome number. Nintendo announced that they have shipped 10.5 million amiibo worldwide. These things. Amiibo. Amiibo is just a huge phenomenon. Everyone seems to be really loving them, and Nintendo is making a lot of money off of them. You gotta figure, it probably does not cost that much to make these figures, and selling at 13 bucks a pop, Nintendo's raking in the dough with this. Are you surprised with that number of Amiibo shipped? Let me know in the comments. Nintendo also reported that they had a $350 million operating profit in the last fiscal year, which is their first operating profit in 4 years. That's sort of a big deal. You're really seeing Nintendo's stock rising and stuff, and what's that really based on is the question. A lot of people seem to be attributing it to the mobile platform that they're looking at, but it's really a conglomeration of things such as the success of the new 3DS, the Wii U's, consistency, I guess, and, Amiibo sales, so it's really interesting to see. Finally, one more thing we learned from Nintendo's investor meeting is that Mr. Iwata said that there are more unannounced Wii U titles for the system that will release this fiscal year. The fiscal year ends March 31st, 2016, so that's pretty, it's a narrow gap here. That's less than a year, and there's more titles coming to the Wii U that have yet to been announced. Will we see those at E3? What do you think those games are going to be? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, and that's going to do it for this week's episode. As always, be sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't, leave me a comment below, answer the question of the week, and I'll see you guys later. Hope you had a good time enjoying Splatoon's global test fire demo, and, who knows, maybe that game will end up being awesome because it really seems like it was. Alright, I'll catch you guys next week. Later.